folks. Welcome to a very special edition of Primetime Rundown. We're covering the NFL playoffs. So, it's your host, Jarrett. Like from all the other Primetime Rundowns, I'm missing my co-host, Dalton. He currently is having some technical difficulties and having trouble getting in for this episode, but that's all right. The show must go on, and I'll take care of business. So, the way we're looking to set this up for the playoffs is obviously there's going to be a lot more matchups than we usually talk about. So I'll talk about each one briefly, and then I'll give my score prediction right after it and who wins. And we'll just kind of give an analysis of each game. So looking forward to getting into this. Obviously, the NFL playoffs is really exciting. And even though my Green Bay Packers didn't make it, I'm a little disappointed about that. I have my own choice words, but I can maybe get into that later. But looking forward to talking about this. But before we do, I'd like to say that Heartcount Heroes is now officially a partner of W Energy. I have some right here. If I can get it on screen. W is an emerging brand of energy drinks created to help focus, concentration, reaction time with no jitters or crash. W contains no maltodextrin sugar, no sugar fillers, artificial colors or dyes, and it is made right here in the United States. So just go to www.w.gg to visit their page and check out their products. Not only do they have energy drinks, but they also carry shaker cups like this one. They have a couple different colors. And they also have their own merch, but it actually looks pretty sick. They just came out with a blue Raz flavor too, so I would check that out. So, and when you go there and you use your checkout code, use promo code Hardcount Heroes. It's on the side of the screen right over there to get 10% off your order, and it helps us out too. So go check out Dubby. I'm pretty happy with their products. I would say this Push and Punch is pretty delicious so far. So uh, on top of that, then also we're going to be starting the Madden League very soon. That should be out already, honestly, if we get the live stream done for it. But we're getting into that. And then I also have an off-season pod announcement where I think we're rolling with the name Cheap Seats for the off-season pod. So look out for that. We got some new stuff coming in 2023, so it should be pretty exciting. So going forward, let's talk about the AFC playoff matchups. We'll start with the 7-seed Dolphins, who just snuck in, taking on the 2-seed Bills. And in this game, I feel like this is the Bills' game to win, and the Dolphins aren't really favored at all in this game. Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle are going to have to show up, and Tua is actually going to have to play for one. I mean, he hasn't been healthy recently, and if he plays, he's going to have to play well. So we'll have to see about that. I don't think you can go against picking the Bills in this game. I mean, it's a pretty obvious one to me. Josh Allen's just too dominant. They had a big game against the Patriots in Week 18. 2 touchdown returns from Naheem Hines. That was pretty nuts. So with the whole Damar Hamlin thing, uh, praying for him. And I know he's doing a lot better now, so we're happy with that. But I feel like it just gives this team a spark. So I would take the Bills in this game, and I honestly don't think it'll be that close. I'd probably take it 30, 35 to like 17. I'm thinking Bills win that. So moving on to the next matchup then. Ravens versus Bengals. Ravens coming at the 6 seed. Bengals at the 3 seed. Ravens obviously need Lamar to be healthy to be competitive. And this Bengals team, I think, is kind of a sleeper Super Bowl team actually coming into this playoffs in 2022. I mean, you have Joe Burrow, you have T. Higgins, you have Jamar Chase, Joe Mixon. Just so many offensive weapons. Even Hayden Hurst hasn't been terrible this year. So I feel like it's hard to compete with them. If the Bengals defense can lock it down, I feel like this should be a slightly easy W for them. I know Ravens give them trouble here and there, but we don't know if Lamar is going to be healthy. They don't really have any offensive weapons, and the defense has been okay. I mean, they've really got that boost after Roquan Smith has been traded to the Ravens, but I feel like this is the Bengals' game to win, just kind of like how it is for the Bills' game to win. So I would take the Bengals in this, and I think the Bengals are kind of an underlying Super Bowl favorite in my eyes. I mean, they're definitely the team I'm going to be rooting for since the Packers got knocked out. So I'll take the Bengals in this one. This one probably a little closer. Say 27 to 23 Bengals win. So Bengals will move on. Obviously, the Chiefs are the 1 seed, so they're going to play the lowest seed. And that moves us into our next matchup, the 4 versus the 5. Jacksonville Jaguars got a momentum boost, won the AFC South for the first time since 2017, I believe. And the Chargers Actually haven't looked that bad. They just lost to the Broncos in Week 18 though, so I'd be a little concerned about that. But there's a lot of hype around the Jaguars, and I feel like a lot of people expect them to succeed. But I'm probably gonna have to go with the Chargers in this matchup. I feel like Justin Herbert has the potential right now to show why he is such a valuable person on that team and why he's a good quarterback. And if they can get their receivers back healthy and the defense can be okay, I would probably take the Chargers, even though Brandon Staley is quote unquote on the hot seat. I don't really get that. I don't think he's necessarily done anything to put himself on the hot seat, but I would take the Chargers in this matchup, and I would say this one would probably be the closest, a little lower scoring. So let's say 21 to 17. Chargers win that. So my picks for the AFC, just to recap, are Bills, Bengals, and Chargers. And now we'll move into the NFC. So the NFC, first one, 7th seed Seahawks, taking on the 2 seed 49ers with Brock Purdy at quarterback. Geno Smith has been amazing for the Seahawks this year. Surprisingly, they snuck into the playoffs after the Lions played spoiler and beat the Packers in a game where the Packers were really sloppy. So very disappointing end to the Packers season. Lions, I mean, took them out with them. They looked good in that matchup, but both the Packers and the Lions are sitting at home now. So the Seahawks played a close game against Baker and the Rams. Came out victors in that one, and I feel like the momentum they carry into this game is pretty beneficial, but I don't think you can pick against the 49ers in this game. They just have too much of a good scheme for them not to succeed. I mean, they have a good offensive line. The weapons are there on offense. The defense is probably the best in the league. The coaching staff is amazing with Kyle Shanahan, and Brock Purdy's been playing pretty solid as a replacement for Trey Lance and Jimmy Garoppolo. So, and honestly, most people would probably say he's playing better than Jimmy Garoppolo. A little side tangent about Brock Purdy. My thing with Brock Purdy is that I think he's in a scheme where the 49ers can really just kind of plug any average quarterback in there and they'll succeed. And Brock Purdy's just a beneficiary of that. I mean, don't get me wrong. The kid has a little bit of talent, but I really just don't think he's more than a slightly mobile Jimmy Garoppolo. He really has impressed for being the 7th round pick and the last pick in the draft. But I don't get this whole conversation of Brock Purdy is a franchise quarterback and he has to be brought into that conversation. So I feel like he could kind of choke under pressure in the playoffs. So we'll see. But if he can do what he's been doing this whole time in the last 5 games that he's played for the 49ers, which is just take care of the football, be a game manager, he doesn't have to do anything flashy. Their offense will do it for him, basically. So just take care of the football and be a game manager. That's probably the best way for the 49ers to have a path to the Super Bowl. And I feel like they're kind of Super Bowl favorites out of the NFC. I mean, I definitely think they're the most complete team out of them all. So, but we'll see if Brock Purdy can handle the pressure. But I would take the 49ers in this game, as much as the Seahawks seem kind of compelling. We'll go 49ers win 24 to 10. 24 to 10, I think 49ers got it. The defense is just too good. So then we'll move into the next matchup, Giants and Vikings. The New York Giants have looked good with Brian Dable, even though they don't really have that much of a complete roster, I'd say. I mean, out of all teams in this playoff, I think if you were to go on paper, they are probably the worst team. But with that being said, Brian Dable has brought them in a position where they are a team that can compete, and they almost beat the Vikings last time. They lost on the last second field goal. And we'll see how this Vikings team really is in the playoffs. I mean, if they're all there, they've looked inconsistent. They've been probably the worst second seed, or I should say the worst third seed I've seen all year. So I don't know if it's true still, but I heard they had a negative point differential with that good of a record. So that just kind of goes to show you. And I don't know if they're going to be able to lock down Jefferson, the Giants. So, but I'm going to go with the hot take pick. And I'll take Brian Dable and the Giants to beat the Vikings and expose that the Vikings are frauds. So I love Justin Jefferson, but I don't think Kirk can take this team on a deep playoff run. And Dalvin Cook, he's always injured. So it's kind of a mistake. And the defense really just isn't there either. So I'll take the Giants. Be run on the back of Saquon Barkley. Daniel Jones can manage the game and get them a W. So then the Monday night game, The Cowboys taking on the Buccaneers. Tom Brady is a different guy in the playoffs. I'll say that. And the Cowboys just lost to the Commanders in the last game of the regular season. So I think I have to pick the Buccaneers here. Although Cowboys might be favored in this game, just based off a record and performance so far. But I don't think you can pick a guy against playoff Tom Brady, and I feel like he's at least going to make a run into the divisional round. I don't think you can pick against him in the wild card, so I'll take playoff Brady. It's something else. Maybe it's his last ride. Maybe he takes him all the way to the Super Bowl, but I don't know about that for sure. Obviously, Eagles are the 1 seed, so they'll kind of play whatever the lowest seed is, and I don't really know about them as well. But if I were to give you a Super Bowl prediction right now, I would probably go, give me Chiefs and Buccaneers. I'm thinking maybe Tom Brady runs it all the way there. So I would take Chiefs and Buccaneers or Chiefs and Eagles. That's kind of the boring pick. That's both 1 seeds, but the Chiefs are too good. But a sleeper team in the AFC is the Bengals, they'd say too. So uh, give me the Bengals and Eagles as kind of like a secondary matchup. So, but no, that's how I'm feeling about it. To recap my NFC picks, I'm going with the Niners, the Giants, and the Buccaneers this week. I will message out to Dalton and try to get his picks too for our primetime picks graphic, and then hopefully next week we can review that. But that's what I got in stake for this week. Kind of a shorter episode of Primetime Rundown. I apologize for that. I didn't necessarily have the ability to get anyone else on for tonight, but that's okay. Felt like we held it down. Use our promo code W.GG and get yourself some W. I recommend Push and Punch. It's pretty good. I might have to buy another tub myself. And look out for an off-season pod that should start after the Super Bowl. And then look out for the Mana League. That should start pretty quick too. So definitely new things coming in 2023. We're excited for it, and we're looking to create more stuff. And that pretty much wraps it up for what I got. We'll see you guys in the divisional round. So y'all have a good one.